Hi, my name's David. Welcome to my YouTube channel. The purpose of this channel is for me to challenge myself by following various YouTubers who are experts in whatever field they are filming on, and try to follow their advice, learn from them, and then apply whatever they say. With that being said, I'm actually going through a set of challenges right now by a YouTuber named Vinh Giang, and the challenge is to read a passage from a book. I've been going through Henry V and a specific speech in Henry V, and follow 4 different techniques for communication. The first one was the siren technique, and that is where I changed my pitch in order to try to engage people. And that sounded like a little bit like this, where you start down low and then you work your way up and then you come all the way up to the top until you come back down again and then you end up down here. So that was the first one. The second one that I did was looking at speed and how fast you could speak, and varying really, really fast, going from very, very, very fast down to very, very slow. The third one that I did was looking at volume. That one was, I've gone back and looked at it again, and I definitely think that I could do better with where I change my volume as well as how much I do. And so that was definitely one that I want to go back and review in the future more too. But now we're moving on to one that's a little bit different. And it's different because I'm going to have to pause as I'm going through in order to kind of change up each section. The reason for that is that this one is on emotion. Specifically, Vinh Giang says that the way that you bring emotion into your voice is by changing your facial expression. So if you're wanting to look happy, you put a smile on your face. And if you're wanting to look sad, then you actually have to bring yourself into a really sad expression. And by doing that, you end up actually bringing the feeling of the sadness into your voice. And so, with that being said, I will have to pause throughout this speech in order to bring in the different emotions. I'm going to experiment one time, see how it goes. I might have to do a second take on this one though, simply because I have a very hard time doing anything other than a happy feel. And so we'll see how this goes. With that being said, I'm going to start us out again. This is the exact same part of the book that I've been using before. It's a speech by King Henry, who is trying to encourage his men right before a big battle where the English are highly outnumbered. And so let's see how this goes. I look forward to it. Okay, this starts out with Westmoreland, who is making a comment, and then King Henry, who's coming in after him. So I'm going to start out with concerned, and I'm going to have to get myself in the mood for each one of these. Oh, that we now had here but 1/10,000 of those men in England that do no work today. Gonna move on to King Henry, and with that, I'm gonna come in a little bit angry. What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin, if we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. Now I'm going to switch and I'm going to go into sad. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, then I am the most offending soul alive. Okay, now I'm going to move into joy. No, faith, my cuz, I would not lose so great an honor as one man more, methinks, would share for me for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Okay, I'm going to move on now. That one was a little overboard. Going back into concerned. Rather proclaim it, Westmoreland, throughout my host, that he which hath no no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company, who fears his fellowship to die with us. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this one. I'm gonna go into happiness. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall live this day and come safe home will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is Saint Crispian. Now I'm gonna do pained. Then will he strip his sleeves and show his scars and say, tomorrow is Saint Crispian. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot. But he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. And then I'm going to go back just to base again, just to give a little bit of a standard. Then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups, freshly remembered. Okay, going back into, I guess, encouraging. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day until the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. And now I'm going to go into sad again, because that one's the one I have the hardest time with. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile. This day shall gentle his condition. Gentlemen in England, now abed, shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whiles any speaks that fought with us on St. Crispin's Day. All right, so there you have it. I probably need to figure out some other emotions. I don't know that my vocabulary of emotions is very high, and so I definitely want to go back. I'm going to make another video. I am going to make another video specifically going through, and I'll be trying to read, I think, from a longer passage where I specifically mark out different emotions I'm going to try to use. I think that would be a really fun way to do this and really get a better idea of how I do with the different emotions. So now I'm very curious, how did I do? So I'm gonna go back and review this, and then I'll come back and let you know how I think things went. All right, see you in the next one. Okay, I came back after the review. I did, I think, both better and worse than I expected. I definitely have a really hard time with sadness. I think getting into that mindset is just very, very, very difficult for me. And so having to go from like a cheerful, hey, how's it going, down to like having a really, really deep hurt inside, where you just want to tell people what's going on, but it's so hard because everything that's inside of you is just hurting. I don't know exactly how to move from that extreme down to something that's so hard. And I think if you have that time to really put yourself into an experience, there's a scene in a movie called The Man Who Knew Too Little. And in it, you have the man who's the main character sitting in a car with a lady next to him, and he thinks she's an actor and she's just trying to do all of the stuff that she's doing, but he can't figure out why it is that she's crying. And so he comes up with this idea of saying, my dog is dead. pokes himself in the eye. My dog is dead. I can't do it. The point is, I definitely have to work on my emotional kind of ups and downs. I think that there could be a lot to this particular exercise. And of all the exercises so far, this has been a lot of fun. So yeah, let's go back, and I'll definitely be trying to do this one again. The next set of challenges that I'm going to do, though, are a little bit different. I'm going to be looking at some vocal exercises that Vinh Giang recommends. Things like just how to prep before jumping in front of, I guess, a camera or an audience or something like that. What I'm hoping to do is come in cold, do the exercises on video, and see if it changes anything. I'll probably read something aloud or do something like that before and then after, just see if there's much of a change. Okay, we'll move on to the next one, and I hope to see you there. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to say, drop me a comment. If you want to join me for the entire journey, feel free to subscribe. We'll catch you later. David out.